Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Miguna was being interviewed on Citizen TV. Very many people are waiting for this interview because you all understand that when Miguna is on stage, then it only means one thing: fireworks. And you know, when Miguna speaks, he believes that every other person is incorrigible, is a devil incarnate. He is the only person who takes credit as being impeccable and spotless. That's what Miguna believes in. Have watched him, and Miguna can deconstruct you. He never spares even the journalists. In fact, for you to interview Miguna, you really need to be very patient. And I really want to congratulate Abdikadir. You need to be very patient and tolerate Miguna. So, ladies and gentlemen, every other person was destroyed. The only person who he had a soft landing for the former Chief Justice David Maraga, and of course Gen Zs. Every other person, be it Raila, Gachagua, Martha Karua. In fact, Miguna has a personal vendetta with Matiang'i, the way Matiang'i treated him when Matiang'i was the CS Interior. But we will look at that later. There is a warning, a red alert that Miguna gave. And Miguna is saying, like I've always said on this channel, that we've got penchant for ignoring red alerts. And Miguna is saying that the current IEBC commissioners will not procure a honest and a verifiable election. Miguna does not mince his words. And he says that he has always warned Kenyans. He says he warned Kenyans against, was it Kivuitu? He warned Kenyans about Isaac Hassan. He warned Kenyans about Chebukati. He says he even warned Kenyans against Raila. But people ignored him. And so he's saying, I'm giving you another red alert. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to watch Miguna because I want us to look at reasons why I believe that our elections will not be free and fair. And you will also give me your reasons if you really believe in the IEBC as currently constituted. Kindly subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell as we watch this video. Please don't forget to like and share the video because it goes a long way in supporting the channel. Kindly take a look.
Dr. Miguna, let's finalize with the following. And this is a post that you made on your Twitter. This was on the 9th of July, about some few days ago. Just trying to pull it out. You talked about the IEBC, and you posted a poster with the photo of the new IEBC chair, and you said, I warned all of you about the colonized, tethered, and tyrant William Ruto, cloned IEBC. You can now see its priorities to disenfranchise Kenyans living in counties Ruto perceived as hostile territory. But we can stop this tragedy, yes, on Sabasaba Revolution Day. Dr. Miguna, given the respect that you command, and given that you are also a constitutional lawyer, why did you post a message that was misleading when the IEBC never had a chairperson and said that poster was fake?
First of all, have you read my post?
Yes, I did. I just read it to you, Dr. Miguna.
My post has nothing to do with the chair being a chair or not a chair, and he happens to be the chair. He's tethered. This man is not independent. This man worked for Nanok in Turkana. And this man was basically headhunted by William Ruto, like he does to all so-called independent constitutional bodies to come and chair the IEBC. This IEBC is made in the image of William Ruto. And anybody who expects this cloned IEBC to preside over credible and fair, credible, and transparent elections is in some dreamland. I want people to come to reality. I warned the country against Kivuitu, and it came to pass. I warned the country against Isaka-san, and it came to pass. I warned the country against Chebukati at the very beginning, and it came to pass. And I am now warning Kenyans against this clone from Turkana and his group of Ruto-tethered commissioners, that these are not independent commissioners. These are dependent commissioners. These people do not come in to preside over a credible elections. They are coming in as coronation choir for William Ruto. I am saying that on the 13th of July, 2025. You will call me back and you will say, and Kenyans will trend, Miguna, we did not know your game. We apologize to you, Miguna.
Yeah.
Because this is what I told them. I told them this about Raila Odinga and they ignored me. I told them about many people and they ignored me until it was too late. And now I am saying it about this.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to go straight. And please tell me whether you trust the IEBC. They have not been tested. And so even if you say you believe them or you don't, you really have to give us a very tangible reason. But in this channel, I want to give you reasons why I believe, only 4 reasons why I believe that there is a possibility of vote rigging in 2027. And I will be giving you reasons from the horse's mouth, not me. Number 1, it is Ruto's closest allies that have told us that they cannot allow the opposition to take power from Ruto, because if that happens, they will be persecuted. They will be victims of harsh treatment, including permanent jail. That is the term that they use. This is Oscar Sudi saying that they are too careful not to allow William Ruto to lose in 2027, because if that happens, Gachagua and this group will jail them. Ile kufungwa maisha. That is what Sudi was talking about. Please listen to Oscar Sudi.
Na ndio unaona sisi tuko careful. Ndio naambia huyu mnyana tuko careful sana, tushindwa kwa sababu hao watu wakitushinda, kwa sababu mtu kama mimi watanifunga baba nene. Watanifunga baba nene. Kwa ndio unaona tunakaa macho kabisa, ili zote ziko juu na kukarabati yote iko chini. Kwa sababu hao watu wakipita tu namna hii, mimi kwanza na huyu Arabu Kishara huyu mnyana huyu tutafungwa baba.
And you know, Sudi is a very close ally of William Samoei Ruto. He describes himself as a man who connects wires. Anasema mimi naunganisha wire. In other words, if you want any deal, if you have any problem with the government, if you have a problem with William Ruto and you want someone who can take you to him, go through Oscar Sudi, the engineer himself. When you want any deal in the government, Oscar Sudi is there. He was mentioned in the G2G oil deal. And you know, Oscar Sudi is a real engineer, anaunganisha mawaya. So if these people tell you that they are scared, and it's not a joke, they will do anything and everything to ensure that they don't lose. But we don't care. We must vote to the last man. And perhaps as we complete this analysis, we will see, or rather, try to look at what do we need to do to ensure that even if they have a plan of rigging, they don't. Number 2, the same engineer himself. I know real engineers, bona fide engineers do not want Oscar Sudi to use that name. But for purposes of politics, we will use that name. So Engineer Sudi himself also told us that if the votes shall not reach the prerequisite number that they want, wataongeza. And you see, when Sudi talks like this, you may think it is a joke. But Sudi is only but conveying a message from the deep state, from the Kenyan mafias, from those people who believe that this is their government. Do you remember the other day Ruto was saying kwa nini hawako wanasumbua Uhuru na Kibaki? So this is Oscar Sudi telling us tutaiba, tutajaza, the horse's mouth.
Ruto must go, ongoja Ruto kwa debe. Na mimi naambia hawa watu, mtashangaa. Tutashinda nyinyi asubuhi mapema. Nilikuwa nasikia wengine wanasema nilisema ati kura isipojaa tutajaza. Nataka nirudie tena nimwambie hawa. Hiyo kura isipojaa itajazwa, itajaa. Kwa sababu hii kazi tunafanya hii kujenga nyumba, kufanya kazi ya usi, kujenga sokoni, kujenga barabara, sio ndio kazi ya kufanya kuomba kura? Ama kuna kazi nyingine? Kwani hiyo kura haiwezi jaa kwa nini? Nyinyi hamwezi jaza? Si mtajaza kura nyinyi? Isipojaza mtajaza? Tunasanya watu wengi tunajaza kura inajaa. So waongoje 2032. Na hakuna rais ambaye enda tamoja. So kasha kuenda pole. Kama unataka kura ongoja 2032 hapo mbele.
So I can easily agree with Miguna that this IEBC might not give us a credible election based on what Oscar Sudi said. Because when they say hatutakubali, they must have a structure to ensure that hawatakubali. And what is the structure? The only body that is allowed to procure and pronounce the winner of a presidential election, and of course all the election from the ward level all the way to the presidency, is the IEBC. And so there's a possibility that they might ensure that these are their people. If they conducted the interviews and they gave them jobs on merit, they can easily compromise them and they will work, they will dance to Ruto's tune. Those are proofs from engineer Oscar Sudi. Now, number 3, the other reason why I believe that there might not be a free and fair election is because in the past, we have seen the record of the IEBC commissions. In fact, in 2007, when it was still called, because the name IEBC came under the new constitution, the ECK, Electoral Commission of Kenya, Samuel Kivuitu pronounced Mwai Kibaki. They rushed to swear him in. Later, when Samuel Kivuitu was asked, do you believe Kibaki won? He said, I don't know. In light of that, and looking at what happened in 2013 and 2017, and even in 2022, all the pronouncements ended in court. In other words, there were never satisfactory reasons to make us believe that indeed the people who announced really won the elections. Ask yourself why all the elections are to end up in court. Those who have supported Ruto and who will tell you people ended in court because Raila does not want to accept elections. But those who supported Raila will tell you we convinced them or we persuaded them to open the server, but they refused. Therefore, they knew very well that they rigged. So because of that, we might not have a free and fair election. The last one, why I believe that there's a possibility, is because all the institutions that we have in Kenya today, the independent institutions, have been captured by the executive, parliament, both National Assembly, the National Assembly and the Senate. Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, the DCI, the NIS, the police. The other day, Ruto was telling us that the police is independent because they take the command from the IG, the Inspector General. But the other day, we just saw him giving a command that if you are found breaking into any someone's property or business, you should be shot in the leg. And the police took it. So based on the fact that the independent institutions are never independent, they dance to the tune of the executive, then there's a possibility. But because even Chebukati's team, actually they were divided in the middle. with Cherera and the other team maintaining that the election or the result that Chebukati announced was his own. But Gulie and the other one agreed with Chebukati. They have always been compromised, and therefore there is a possibility that even this one will not be any different. So based on that, I can easily agree with Miguna. But now, do we leave it at that? That now that we believe the elections will not be free and fair, so we just sit back and watch? I don't think so. If we sensitize each other and we register as voters, and we, like I've always said, we shun tribalism na tuache kuchukua hongo, na hiyo siku tuamke asubuhi, tupige kura, tuchunge kura yetu. We decide on one person, because we really need to have one opposition. The day you will see opposition, a disintegrated opposition, jua imekwisha. So there could be plans to rig, but Kenyans must stand firm. Tukipiga kura vizuri, a revolution through the ballot, we can make it by getting the right candidate and we vote wisely. And on this, I could easily agree with Miguna, even though the IEBC has warned against casting aspersion on their character. They have not been tested. I think there are by-elections ahead of us. But I have just mentioned the person who's close to William Ruto assuring us that they cannot accept to lose for peace in our country, and we wait for that day and see what will happen.